Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Teacher Josa. Yes, your teacher for the subject Personal Development. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. So last meeting, our topic is all about ways to become responsible adolescent. Like first, you need to focus on your studies and do well in all of your endeavors. Two, establish good communication and relation with your parents or guardians. And set your goals properly, be accountable, take good care of your health, and of course, your hygiene. So for today's lesson, we have this trivia report last May 28, 2020, and we need updated information about this. National Center for Mental Health said callers seeking mental health support rose to 300 to 400 calls over recent months, 5 times higher than 60 to 80 monthly calls received before the COVID-19 outbreak. Grabe, no? Did you notice the change in statistics? It's from 60 to 80% to 300 to 400 callers. I mean, 60 to 80 callers, naging 300 to 40 callers seeking mental health aid. Some experts said that mental health could be the next crisis. So I hope you watch news and to get updated information. Hanapin pa natin yung updated niyan, okay? So frontliners, young people, elderly, people with mental illness are a certain group of people who are more prone to mental health issues due to global situations. So we can check if we are one of those people experiencing it or if we have family members and friends who want to know about it. That's why today we're going to discuss mental health and psychological well-being. Yan. So we consulted Dr. Boboy Alianan from Ateneo de Manila, Department of Psychology, of course, a psychologist and psychometrician. And do you see the picture on the left side? That's I think your right side yan eh. Okay, that's me. When I attended his seminar on mental health and stress management, we also Yan. We also got vital information from Tanglaw Mental Health, a non-governmental organization helping people to understand mental health. We got some insights from Pastora K. Carolino, spiritual advisor and former Marisay GPTA president. And of course, information from one of the excellent science teachers in Marikina Science High School, Senior High School Department, Mr. J.P. Arcilia. Woo, 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 woo! All right. So for our content standard, the learners demonstrate an understanding of the concepts about mental health and well-being, particularly stress and coping strategies in middle and late adolescence. For performance standard, the learner shall be able to identify his or her own vulnerabilities and plan to how to stay mentally healthy while coping with stress. For objectives, explain the meaning of mental health and psychological well-being through a PowerPoint presentation and short video. Realize the importance of understanding mental health and psychological well-being using daily pie chart. Write personal contract on taking good care of your mental health and psychological well-being. All right. So our topic for today is understanding mental health and psychological well-being to cope with stress. So what is well-being? Well-being is the experience of health, happiness, and prosperity. More generally, well-being is just feeling well. Kaya nga siya, well-being. Sa other side, you will see the wellness wheel. It shows us that if a person is well, he or she has a balanced life, emotional, intellectual, physical, social, and so on and so forth. So check if your life is more focused on physical aspects only and neglect spiritual or other aspects. So that's why we tackle about physical development, social development, spiritual development, and other types of development. When we say psychological well-being refers to inter and individual levels of positive functioning that can include one's relatedness with others and self-referent attitude that includes one's sense of mastery and personal growth. Inter means outside self, while intra means your inner self. Psychological well-being means that you feel good both inside and outside. That's why you can relate to other people. The problem is sometimes people hide their true selves and we tend to smile even though we feel pain or we're broken or we're sad. Self-referent means referring back to yourself. You have the ability to go back to yourself and ask, how are you, self? Are you okay, self? Am I really happy, satisfied? Which requires knowing more about yourself very, very well, specifically your abilities and limitations. Sometimes we feel down because other people's perspectives on us ay pangit or negative, no? So, pwede kang madapa, no? Or mawalan ng self-esteem. But remember that hindi lahat ng taong dadaan ay bibigyan mo ng karapatan na apakan ka, maliitan ka, o sirain ka. Kasi hindi ka naman nila kilala. Lalo na yung nagbe-base lang sa paninira nila sa kwento ng iba. So, higit mo dapat na kilala ang iyong sarili. And most importantly, if you are a spiritual person, there is God who gives you special talent, abilities, and capabilities, no? Beyond sa iniisip mo. Okay? So, that is psychological well-being. So this quarantine period, remember that we may not able to go outside, but we can always go inside and discover more about ourselves. So let's watch a video explaining the connection of our brain with our mental health. So let me share this. Okay. So wait, let me share the audio, of course. Para marinig nyo, di ba? All right. Thank you to Nucleus Medical Media. So, video courtesy of YouTube. Thank you po.
You or someone you know may have been diagnosed with a mental health problem, also known as a psychiatric disorder. This video will help you understand how the brain works in mental health and how problems can cause mental illness. Mental health is your ability to handle or cope with stress and enjoy daily life. It includes the way you feel, think, act, and relate to others. Scientists study how certain brain areas affect mental health. For example, the fear area of the brain, called the amygdala, helps you avoid harmful things and escape danger. In addition, the amygdala works with the prefrontal cortex to control your response to fearful and stressful events. The prefrontal cortex also helps you make decisions, solve problems, and recall memories. The anterior cingulate cortex helps you focus on tasks and control emotions. The hippocampus helps make and store new memories. The working units of the brain are cells called neurons, also known as brain cells. Neurons pass messages to each other through electrical impulses. The impulses pass along a part of the neuron called the axon. Here's a closer look at how a message passes from one neuron to another. At the end of the axon, the impulse causes the neuron to release chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. These chemical messengers move across a tiny space called a synaptic gap and attach to another neuron. This triggers the neuron to produce its own impulse. In this way, impulses spread across the brain. Problems with this process may result in brain disorders known as mental illnesses. All the causes of mental illness aren't known. However, a number of factors may contribute to it. Some of these factors are a family history of mental illness, which can be passed from parent to child through genes, severe emotional or stressful life events, or a head or brain injury. Other factors may include health problems such as heart disease, problems with other chemicals in the body called hormones, drug abuse and addiction, and an imbalance of chemical messengers in the brain. When there is an imbalance of chemical messengers in the brain, neurons may have trouble passing messages between each other. The most common chemical messenger is glutamate. It increases the chance that an impulse will form in other neurons. People with mental illnesses such as autism, obsessive-compulsive disorder, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's disease, and depression may have problems making or using glutamate. Serotonin, another chemical messenger, helps control mood, hunger, and sleep. For example, people with depression often don't have enough serotonin. Dopamine helps control movement and is involved with feelings of pleasure and addiction. Low dopamine levels, or problems with the brain's ability to use it, may be linked to schizophrenia, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, and other disorders.
Much YouTube for that video, specifically, let me check the Nucleus Medical Media. Thank you so much. Okay. Oops, back to my slide. Let me share again my PowerPoint presentation. So let's integrate it to science. What is the connection between our brain and our mental health? Yes, no? Most scientists believe that mental illnesses result from problems with the communication between neurons in the brain. We call it neurotransmission. For example, the level of the neurotransmitter serotonin is lower in the individuals who have depression. Also, the amygdala recognizes threat and sounds the alarm. In turn, the prefrontal cortex signals the amygdala whether the alarm is justified. Thus, in checking our mental health status, it is important to evaluate our physical and physiological aspects of our brain and the whole body. Okay? So, by understanding mental health and psychological well being to cope with stress, we should mind the basic. Again, no, we need to sleep right to enable the body to repair and be ready for another day. Okay? Alam niyo, according to my health professor, sabi niya, kapag nagpuyat ka ng nagpuyat, it's like a rubber band na ine-stretch mo, nang ine-stretch yung physical na strength mo. No, advance ka ng advance ng pagsagot ng module kasi feeling mo okay lang yon, no? May advantage naman at disadvantage. Pero here's the disadvantage. Kung nagpupuyat ka or wala sa tama yung time management mo, no? So para siyang extend ng rubber band hanggang sa wala na. No, kakapuyat, wala nang chance yung body mo na mag-repair. Okay? So, yun, ang tendency pwedeng mapigtas and yun, health problem. Okay? So I want you to please sleep right, no? If you, for example, nag-advance ka na pagsagot ng module, make sure na you have time to rest. Don't abuse your mind. Don't abuse your body. Okay? One step at a time para din hindi tayo nababurn out sa pag-aaral. Okay? Next, eat right because it provides you with energy and the nutrients you need for growth and repair, helping us to stay strong and healthy. Next, exercise because an exercise, it delivers oxygen and nutrients to your tissues and helps your cardiovascular system work more efficiently. And when your heart and lung health improve, you have more energy to accomplish daily chores. So, exercise kahit mga 7 minutes, 5, 7 minutes lang. Okay? Please do that, no? Next, keep learning, of course, no? Of course, mga legitimate lang na sources. So, sleep, exercise, proper diet, and other physical activities, again, increase our happy hormones in the brain. Ano yon? Dopamine, serotonin, endorphin, oxytocin. Okay, so sleep right, eat right, do some exercises. Okay, so my question is, in your personal experience, what are the benefits of participating in Nestle Wellness Dance? Yes, no? Marami, no? So, thank you for your sharing. So, don't forget to thank your PE teachers, of course, because they help us to become physically fit. All right. Why is it important to read factual information? Because the amygdala recognizes threat and sounds the alarm. In turn, the prefrontal cortex signal the amygdala whether the alarm is justified. Kapag mali yung information na kukuha natin, na alarma yung ating isip, natuturete tayo at kung ano-ano ang ating nagagawa. So please read yung mga factual lang at yung mga legitimate resources. Verify muna. Okay? Of course, yung mga pasa-pasa ng mga chain messages, no, mag-ingat din, no? Next, so since mental health is the ability to handle or cope with stress, let's define stress. So stress is the ability to handle or cope with stress. Mental health is ability to handle or cope with stress. So stress is the resultant of a change, whether expected or otherwise, the reaction to it. So stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demands, whether expected or not. Sometimes, if it's difficult to embrace changes in our lives, we find it so stressful. So, people tend to react than to respond. Yun po yun. Okay? So, may kinalaman to sa pag-handle natin actually ng problems. But, hindi lahat ng stress masama. Okay? So, distress yun, no? Distress is the negative stress, wherein you feel so down, you are disappointed, and it seems that you accept the change, pressure, or challenges. Distress. Patong-patong, halo-halo, sabay-sabay, party-party. Okay? So, eustress is different. No, eustress is the positive stress, wherein you feel more motivated, focused, you love challenges, and you want to risk. Ito yung kadalasan nararamdaman ng mga nag-a-advance sa module, no? Ang dami, nakaka-overwhelm, pero ginaganahan lalo kasi nakaka-discover ng magandang bagay. Pero medyo may disadvantage din, gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina. Alright, so, yun, no? Next, to take good care of our mental health, remind yourself that there are, first, predictable situations. Yung predictable and unpredictable situations. You might not able to control it, but you can control yourself and your reactions, no? That's why people come to God and believe in spirits and join support groups then, lalo na yung mga hindi nila hawak, like namatayan ng family, nanakawan, nasunugan, at kung ano-ano pang mga unpredictable or unexpected, of course, na mga situations, no? So, predictability, sinasabi ni Dr. Boboy Alianan na kapag na-predict natin yung next na mangyayari, mas kalmado tayo. Pag nakokontrol natin o hawak natin yung isang situations, mas wala yung stress. Yun nga lang, hindi lahat ng bagay ay predictable and controllable, kaya na-stress tayo. Okay? Next is, ayan. So, according to Pastora, and next, stress reactivity. Meaning your reaction sa stress na yun. Okay? So, how do our faith and religious practices help us to have positive mental health and cope with stress? So, according to Pastora K and other spiritual leaders, our faith help us to become compassionate, forgiving, loving, and resilient in every expected or unexpected challenges in life. Okay? So, how can we apply our understanding of mental health and psychological well-being in the current COVID-19 pandemic? Thank you for your answer. So, for our activity, all right. So, learning activity number 1 is we're going to create a daily pie chart. Lakihan lang natin para nakikita nyo. Yan. So, using the circle below to represent your typical day over the past month, what are the different activities you would do? Pie chart po ha. Next, which among this activity is or are life-giving, neutral, stressful? Divide the circle to represent this activity and color the parts accordingly. So, para saan yan, Ma'am Josa? Makikita mo ano yung bulk ng time mo at saan minsan na uubos yung oras mo and sometimes you feel so stressed. Okay? Next, so what is the connection between our brain and mental health? And then, mga questions kanina yan. Alright, so I want you to write a personal contract. I, blank, commit to the following activities in order to take good care of my mental health and psychological being. So after mong makita yung pie chart mo na hindi balance yung time mo and even your priority, I want you to write personal contract. Okay? You commit to do this following activities talaga. And sabi ko nga sa inyo, mga trinong bata, supervisor nila ang kanilang sarili. Okay? Be accountable. As attested by witness, signature witness 1, your friends or classmates, witness number 2, and the date, I will commit to pursue and improve my well-being through minding the basic like healthy habits as stated above. Your name and your signature. For additional activity, none. I want you to rest and have quality time with yourself, family, and friends. Take care. So that's the end of our lesson. Thank you.